Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch. It's a podcast about pop culture, internet garbage, and black coffee. I'm your host, Taylor Olmstead, and with me, it's internet trash edgelord Tyler Reed. Tyler, what did you have for brunch today? Hey everyone, Taylor from the future here. For whatever reason, we had some technical difficulties with Tyler's microphone this week, and so we lost the first part of his recording, including what he had for brunch. Rest assured, it was basically the same thing he has every week. Normie McNormface, Sean Evans is here. Sean, what did you have for brunch today?
Well, this morning, I don't know if I should say this out loud, but I made bad pancakes.
What did you do?
I think they were too watery. Because by the time they got onto the skillet, they spread out. And then by the time the bottom was cooked, the top was already done. So flipping them over basically just meant burning the top half.
That's a sad day.
So instead, we just had bacon and toast.
I mean, you were halfway to a BLT.
Yeah. Well, we used pork bacon today, which I know sounds kind of stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pork bacon. That's
bacon.
Right. Because we usually use turkey bacon.
Okay, turkey bacon's fair.
Because pork bacon splatters grease everywhere. That's really it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm your host, liminal state mildly hungover Taylor Olmstead, and for brunch today, I had hash browns and eggs like I normally do on Sunday. But yesterday, you guys, Saturday, March 31st, was basically like a day of never-ending brunch. Oh my gosh, I went to Baconfest yesterday, y'all. Yeah, for those who aren't aware, Baconfest is the annual fundraiser for Dad's Garage, which is an improv comedy theater here in Atlanta. Dad's Garage, most famous for being the starting ground of Amber Nash and Lucky Yates, who are both on the cast of Archer now. Lucky Yates was actually at Baconfest yesterday, which was hilarious. He was at a booth called Confess Yourself. He was dressed as a priest, and you could confess your Baconfest sins to him, and every sin you confessed got you a ticket into a raffle for some local art, which I did not win. But basically, the way Baconfest works is you pay the entry fee at the gate, and you get unlimited booze and bacon for an entire afternoon. It starts at 1 and goes until 6 p.m. And normally, I know we say the cutoff for brunch is 3 p.m., but I think if you're eating nothing but bacon from 1 until 6, you can just kind of count all of that as a weird, liminal state brunch. Mm-hmm. So I had pancakes yesterday morning at 11 a.m., and then went to Baconfest at 1, and ate bacon all the way until 6, and then went and got pizza because I needed anything other than bacon and beer in my system. And oh man, you guys, it was a super fun day. Lots of really good comedy, lots of good beer, good bacon, BLTs. There was a bacon-themed marching band. There was all sorts of crazy carnival games. It was awesome, but I don't think I want to eat bacon again for a while. So in the time since we recorded our last episode, it was confirmed that Queer Eye has been renewed for a second season. However, they did not publicly announce that it's going to be Cincinnati. That's still just a rumor. We will continue watching this and potentially nominating Tyler if and when the time comes. All right, so this week we're talking about a fashion trend because apparently this podcast is just going to turn into a fashion show now. 2 weeks in a row here. So I guess maybe Tyler brought this to us originally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a new men's style / fashion trend called Techwear. And I'm going to let one of you two explain this to me.
Okay, so I'll just tell you my personal story here. So some of you that watch YouTube will probably have seen ads for things. And so usually one of those ads has been this guy showing I help people make viral videos. And one of those people happened to be this channel called Frugal Aesthetic. And so eventually I just caved in. I'm like, fine, you got me. Let's see what this is about, because I've been learning more about fashion. I wanted to see what it was, see what I can learn. And so this guy basically, he covers topics of kind of what's popular in different sort of circles of men's fashion. And so one of the ones that he posted recently was about Techwear. And the joke is that Techwear is basically you dress like people from Watch Dogs, which is a video game. where you hack into telephone or not telephone, but like street lights and make people crash, and you like hack people's phones and bullshit. And so basically, it just makes you look like you're probably going to go spray paint or have already spray painted graffiti on a building. And it involves a lot of pockets and a lot of belts. Now it's not like pockets of belts like your trip pants. These are tighter fitting, and you gotta have the variety, the dynamics. You gotta have skinny on the bottom, big on the top. It's all about mix and matching.
So what you're saying is that it's like the slim fit juggalo.
I mean, that's
whoa. You need to slow those ponies down, sir. You need to rein them in, because you're about to go buck wild right now.
Sean, help me out here. What's going on?
You want me to explain what tech clothing is?
More, I want you to explain to me like the appeal of this, or like how did we get here?
Oh, that I don't know. I know I don't know how we got here. I know that the appeal of it, honestly, if I want to make a guess from watching the videos, it was from video game culture. And that's about as much as I can say about video game culture, because I'm essentially, I wouldn't say I'm a Luddite of video game culture, but I'm not connected to that culture, and maybe in a remote way.
You know what, gang? I know what I think it's time for. I think it's time for the old classic meme. It's time to boot up the Googler. All I know is they really like to. They use words like hype beast and lit and.
Oh, lots of fire in these videos.
Everything is fire.
Everything is fire. So when he was doing the videos, I noticed that he described tech clothing as street ninja, which I really like, because I do think that it is very street ninja. He does a very like monochrome interpretation of what it could be. I think you could throw a little color in there. Not just like brown and green. You could do more color, and it would still pull off the same effect. I wouldn't go crazy and do something like outlandish, like an 80s jogging suit. But
I mean, I think it generally comes from like cyberpunk. Is kind of probably like a big influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking here at an article on Grailed about an introduction to techwear, and it talks about kind of a utilitarian approach, saying that the main appeal of techwear is that it can make life easier, whether it's being able to carry more stuff or stay dry in a downpour. And it talks a lot about like waterproofing and Gore-Tex, as well as having tons of pockets to fit all of your devices in. Well, I think it's more like in this jacket, you can fit a phone, an iPad, your Apple Watch, and your 2015 17-inch MacBook Pro.
Oh, I was going to say, and a baby kangaroo.
Right, yes. It's like, oh, so you want to be able to carry a phone and a phone charger? Well, while you're at it, why don't you also stub in a small family?
But, I mean, I think one of the most interesting decisions is the most interesting sort of portions of this, like, sure, like the jackets that you usually wear are going to be sort of like, you know, like not like maybe like military, like surplus stuff, or maybe it's like, you know, some of that like maybe like construction workers or someone that works like with a lot of like heavy machinery wears. But like, I think it's interesting that also that like, it seems like shoe companies are really kind of like getting in on it. And it feels like the part that I've never understood about shoe design is that like what the fuck is this stuff for? Like I have like just some regular ass like shoes that just have like all these different materials and it's all like interwoven, and it's like, what is this? What's the purpose of this? But like one of the cool ones, or one of the ones that people say is like the best one, is these Nike Prestos.
Mm-hmm.
The sock light fit and you're like, ooh, like, and I'm like, those look pretty cool. I do feel like a cyber ninja. I think it's all about kind of the perspective, you know. It's like, but like you're like, oh, if I put all this together, I'll look super fucking sweet. But also, like how Sean was kind of making fun of this in the last episode, he's like, you're also probably gonna get patted down by the police.
That's my one overarching critique of this particular style, is that you are probably very much likely to get patted down by the police or spot checked or something. I don't know. Just because It kind of, but the thing is, if you wore this on a boat, if you wore this while you were sailing, you would look very good. But if you wore this when you were like going to the airport, probably have more eyes looking at you.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that really like throws me off about Techwear is that it's all like none of the articles of clothing involved are new or innovative. They're like variations on existing clothing, but they're taken completely out of context. So it is like clothes designed for like working or for like skiing. Like a lot of these jackets have kind of like the cross-country skiing type of vibe to them, but you're just wearing them on the street. And I think taking them out of context sometimes, you're right, Sean, like it can lead to some misunderstanding.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
Tyler, go ahead and talk about the picture that you just shared with us, because
this seems to be a problem here. Like we can all kind of say at some level, Techwear looks like it looks pretty cool, and you're like, boy, if it's like chilly or if it's like straight up cold, but like I'm noticing the sort of the real hole in this design style is spring and summer,
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at r/Techwear and I just picked the first one that said something about spring, and it's a guy that has like these really technical pants and he's got like his like ninja shoes on, and then he just has like a shirt that's just like tucked in.
No, I think this is a troll, first of all, because it's not summer Techwear. It is somebody who...
It's like what a nerd in 1986 would wear to picture day.
Yes.
Now, you're like, surely this guy has to not be serious, right? But I he did also post the details of what he's wearing. And I feel like he's like belt, sneakers, shorts. You're like...
Okay, what are they?
The belt is a Gorilla Group SWL1. Sneakers Y3 Casa High, and then the shorts are Gorilla Group 17S PS02.
No way.
So in looking at these images that Tyler's sending over, I felt like some of this looked really familiar, and I was trying to place it, and then I realized, I think a couple of years ago, we actually talked about this indirectly, because many years ago, this is like big time follow-up, I hope somebody can go back and find the episode number for this. Sean had us all look at Yeezy Season 1, the first fashion collection from Kanye West, and I feel like there are elements of Techwear in that first Kanye line that are just now starting to hit the mainstream. Not everything in that line was Techwear. There's a lot of like torn and frayed stuff that I think is what people remember. But a lot of the outerwear is very Techwear.
I think the thing is that it is the idea of mixing and matching sort of like different like lengths or like fits or they call them fits. Like I think is technically they say it weird. I don't know what it is. Like where it's like you have a big like lanky sort of loose top, and then you have like really tight pants, especially like kind of like a jogger. And I mean that seems to be like sort of like the pant to wear for like a lot of kind of fashion like right now if you're like trying to like have like a street or like kind of like a athletic kind of look. Is that what I think that's kind of what you're saying? And then I mean, or you're talking about the shoes specifically, aren't you?
I mean, I'm talking about both the Yeezy Boost from Adidas shoes, but then a lot of the outerwear in that Kanye collection was very Techwear as well, in that way that you're talking about of like mixed lengths and tight-fitting bottoms with like very loose tops.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Oh, I was thinking about the flesh-toned one.
Yeah, no, that was in the second season.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. That does make a lot of sense now I'm looking at it.
And this was from 2015.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, that's totally like a military look. Like the first like guy like right up front, you're kind of like, yeah, he's got a lot of layering. He's got like some cool shoes on that are definitely doesn't need that for wherever he's going. Interesting. That's a good connection. So, I mean, this probably feels like it's a long time coming then. This isn't like just...
A little bit, yeah, right?
I mean, okay, so after looking more at the Reddit, I feel like maybe how this came about was a combination of everyday carry and reappropriation of tactical clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I was not a history major or anything like that, but I can tell you from like independent readings that generally speaking, a lot of trends every here and now become popular because of their former utilitarian and availability. So blue jeans is a good example. that they're like rugged and available and utilitarian. They lasted for a long time. I'm trying to think like what else was really kind of sort of similar to that, but you kind of see where I'm going with that one, right? Like it's not like an outlandish claim.
No, not at all.
But I feel like also there is in the style zeitgeist out there, there's a popularity of moving away from department stores, and one of the places I think that people are going, particularly like the middle-aged white crowd, white crowd, and women somewhat, is like REI or outdoor places. You know, maybe you're not wearing hiking boots all the time, but it's definitely fine if you work in a business casual place to go to REI and get like really nice top end outerwear and wear it to work with a collared shirt under it. You know, no one's frowning upon that anymore. Like, oh, this isn't like insert state here that has a more outdoorish lifestyle, or being a park ranger. And maybe seeing as how a lot of this seems to be cropping up in more urban areas, like I feel like a lot of the I don't want to say urban like in a bad way, I want to say urban like New York City and Los Angeles and whatnot, that there's that mystique that everybody from the city is sleek and they wear black shirts with black shoes and black dress pants and black suits, and it's sleek and it has like this really like modern look to it. And Techwear kind of has taken all of these things and smashed them together, and that's what makes it appealing. That's what makes it so cool, is that it's layered and it's urban and sleek, and it takes into account that like everydayness, and it's still like the rugged outdoors, but still in this cityscape set. And that's what makes it so appealing, because it appeals to a lot of people. It appeals to like different groups, and you don't have to have an aesthetic, right? You can love nice tennis shoes and still be into tech. You can love, you know, having an actual like utilitarian wardrobe and be into techwear. It looks a little strange. It looks a little bit out of the ordinary, but I guess from what I got from the videos, that's fine. Like, you want to look a little bit out there. You have to go balls out to, you know, not my words, to wear this, which you do, because you don't look like the everyday person.
Yeah, this is not a conventional look.
But I think also in the videos, Frugal Aesthetic referenced, I think Instagram is a pretty big factor of it, because I do think it's a lot about looking cool. It's a lot about putting getting some good, like getting the likes, you know. And it seems like a lot of it is it seems like Japan, or at least more in like sort of like the East. I'm not going to be specific. There's probably lots of people, and I don't want to generalize, but I'll just say Japan just for the sake of clarity. Like, you know, they have like a lot of it seems like there's like a lot of like looks that are kind of coming out from there, and a lot of people are making that kind of clothing, and then we're kind of like, you know, trying to catch that kind of flavor. You know, we're trying to pick up what they're doing. You know, they're seeing like all the likes go up on Instagram. We probably want to like, you know, take some of that, you know, and they probably just think it looks cool. And I don't know how accurate this is, but he was like, well, people in like China, they have they have rich parents, and so they let them just buy whatever they want, and they look cool in these, you know, they take lots of cool pictures on Instagram, you know, and
No, I do think that's a huge component of this, because he talks a lot about like specific extremely high-end brands.
Yeah.
Like $1,000 jacket and parka type of brands.
Yeah.
And I think that's really like the side of this that's so interesting and so very like of this particular cultural moment, where even though the branding on Techwear stuff isn't that obvious, like it's not like wearing a Tommy polo and having that huge Tommy logo that everybody can see, but to the right person, they can look at that jacket and know whether you spent $100 or $1,000 on it. And that's what makes the difference. And especially when they're pouring over your Instagram, like people can tell. And I think that's such a moment right now of like niche brand, like one-upsmanship, so to speak, of like, I found this crazy like luxury jacket brand or whatever, or like my roommate and I are both Apple Watch users, and so there's like all these crazy high-end Apple Watch bands that you can buy that cost like 4 times more than the watch itself. Like it feels like there's such a thing right now of these niche brands, like Sean was saying, that's so against department store, and it's interesting but very outside of my price range.
I know there's like small kind of like thing that I can kind of like pick up on that might help is that like I'm also not entirely familiar with the sort of like the trap music, like a lot of people in that genre, but I do know that like Bape is like an example of like a brand that lots of people like to wear, and people like to wear like the face mask like that has like a shark on it, like a shark design on it. And so like I mean like that's sort of also an example of like maybe like we're kind of like taking examples of like things that like people in like Japan like to wear, like they like as like a cool thing they like to wear like face masks, you know, with like designs on and stuff like that. So then we're kind of like either copying or taking stuff from them. And so it kind of makes sense that like, you know, we see rappers that we're big fans of, then, and especially because I would say that like the most significant movement in like our musical history right now is sort of like trap and those I don't know, like I'm not even beginning to try because I'm gonna say something stupid. I've already said enough stupid stuff on the show throughout the years we've been doing this, but I think that's also maybe part of it too, is that maybe we're getting a lot of influence from the music and just from generally from the style from Instagram.
I posted a picture, the Boston Tourist Porter Daypack Mini. I don't know if you guys are looking at that or not, but I kind of wanted to like, I think it's interesting to dissect things like this, so you can kind of like learn how to read when you look at something like this. I think with the exception of the shoes, which there are other ones that are really cool. Like when I look at this, of course you see like the really narrow around the ankle, start from the bottom up. Then you get the cargo look that's loose fit, right? And the crotch is really low on these pants. Like it's really low, or else they're so baggy that they gives us the illusion that there's like, you know, it's like those, what were those pants called that you bought, Tyler, off of Amazon? I don't want to say pirate pants because that's not the right term for them, but like...
They're Thai fishing pants, I think.
Yeah. So it has like that kind of look, that more traditional clothing look, right? But it's more modded out to give you this utilitarian look, as if you were doing something, you know, like going on an urban adventure where you were going to be climbing, where you were going to need stuff, where you were going to have to carry something, even though you're not necessarily doing that. Then you work up your way to a jacket that looks like it's probably one size too big, but it's probably made that way. It's probably made to be loose because it's supposed to be layered. So it has narrow around the arms. It's made of a glossy matte, like a glossy material. Lots of nice pockets, outfitted really well. It's mono. It's just straight black. Everything is black. The Velcro is black. The cuffs are black. Like the zippers are black. The tie is black. Like everything is black. And then under it, you have like a bigger looking shirt. It's oversized. You accessorize that with what this guy has on a camera with a black camera strap, metal, like a gunmetal colored loop on there to kind of add to that, like that aesthetic, that dark aesthetic. Throw on a backpack that looks, you know, it's all straight black, lots of plastic clips. You can probably imagine what it looks like on the back. It's probably covered in, you know, different little loops and things like that. And then he tops it all off with what better? A black beanie, you know, like a black utilitarian looking beanie that looks like it could have been like $2. You know what I mean? But it just completes this look. It just completes it. I think that in this particular picture, the shoes are lacking a little bit. I think this might be one of the more exciting parts of techwear, because when I look at the shoes across like the broad spectrum of techwear, a lot of these shoes reflect architecture. I really like shoes, modern shoes, because I feel like they reflect this. They're not just for the purpose of walking or running or basketball or football or cleats or something or tennis. They're for wearing. They're for owning. They're for displaying. They're for speaking. Right? This is really interesting. This is like really cool. And I like that a lot of these shoes that people are making are made as architecture that you wear.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Like I'm trying to think of like one example. What was when he talked about in the video, the acronym Nike's collaboration or whatever? That's a really cool set of shoes, because they're monotone, but they have a little pop of color. They have like a very cool looking sole, but they have the traditional Nike Air on the front. They kind of look like golf cleats a little bit, but they're not. They look like free running shoes, but they're not. They have a unibody mesh with like a toe gap in the front. They're just cool looking shoes. Like they're definitely meant to be doing cool stuff, that athletic things, but just look at them. They're exciting to look at. They invoke that motion in your eye when you look at them. They don't just draw you like, oh wow, like these are made for somebody who's ready to go do a sport. These are made for like to be aesthetically pleasing and comfortable, which is a big deal because for a lot of time there was not. You either had one or you had the other.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Like you didn't run a marathon in your Allen Edmonds shoes.
Oh yeah, that's tech as fuck.
That's what I mean. And those are cool shoes. Those are cool shoes that if I saw them and they were at a price point that I thought was reasonable for a pair of Nike shoes, I would totally snatch those up. Those are cool. And the I guess one of the funny things about them is they're not covered in pockets. They're actually just like sock shoes with foam on the bottom. And yet they still look like Techwear.
$2,000?
And I think that Tyler is really the key, right? Like Techwear is so simple looking, yet all the videos and all the articles we've talked about tonight talk about how like it's so easy to drop a ton of money on this right now. And so I guess for listeners, there will be links in the show notes to a bunch of different Techwear stuff, but take a look at some of these price tags. And like, it's so interesting how even though these looks seem simple, they are deceptively high end and expensive.
But I think he makes a really good point in the video by saying if you have a little bit of creativity and you can use a sewing machine, you don't have to have that much money. Like I just posted a link to the Nike Air Force 270s. These look like straight Techwear shoes, and they're Air Forces. They just don't look like an Air Force. They look modern. Like I wouldn't wear these on the basketball court, but they look so nice. Like they have suede. They have like a cool band that goes over it. There's mixed materials there. They're high on the ankle. They look comfortable.
And they only run $160 retail, which
they're
really isn't bad.
Which, right. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a lot for a pair of tennis shoes. But
when you're doing this kind of like heavily designed look,
right,
not bad.
There was thought that went into these.
Right. And I would say that if I was going to spend money on any art or any part of it, I would say it would be the shoe. Because that's the part that's going to like if you get like your grandpa's like loafers, you're like, but you have like everything else is like sick as fuck. You're like, all right, well, this isn't going to work. You know, I wear my boating shoes. And you're like, okay, well, you're not cool. You can leave.
Yeah, the shoes are definitely the focal point.
But I mean, I think you can go on Nike's website right now and find like the sweetest pair. Hold on, I'm gonna post these shoes, and this is hilarious because they have so many sizes of them online. They're $140. Tell me if you can find anything that on this website that is as cool and techy as these shoes.
So these are
they're called the Nike SF Air Force 1 High men's boot. Look at these things, and they're on clearance right now.
Yeah, I've seen these at my local Nike outlet. Like,
I mean, because honestly, you're using like a bungee cord, which is stupid as fuck. But I mean, like, it also looks really tech. You're like, okay, well.
Yeah, if you were trying to build this look out, this would be the fastest way to make that happen.
That's what I mean. You put on a pair of black skinny jeans, and like go to REI. And get a tech-looking black jacket, a black beanie, and wear like a black undershirt. Done. You are set. Like you are looking, and I'm talking like maybe you would drop like $500 on this outfit altogether. But you know what? You got a nice jacket out of it.
And shit, you could shovel snow in these boots until the end of the world. These things look tough as hell. So this week in Internet Garbage, we're going to talk about something that I'm pretty sure most people listening to this show have probably already seen. But I saw this the other day while I was scrolling through Twitter, killing some time, and I just knew we had to talk about it. This has been affectionately referred to on the internet as the shrimp fried rice thread. Have you guys seen this?
No.
I read this because you linked it to us already, so I read it.
Oh, I thought this was Zach.
No, it's a rando.
Oh, no. Yeah, I did read this.
So if for whatever reason you haven't read the shrimp fried rice thread, there will be a link in the show notes. But the TLDR is this guy, Zach Toscani on Twitter, has gone completely viral with this thread about how a coworker had their lunch stolen from the fridge and went to HR about it. And HR let them review the security camera footage to see who stole their lunch. They then watched the tape and saw a coworker take the lunch out of the fridge and then throw it away without eating it. And then a company-wide email was sent out about not stealing people's lunch. And this person came back to her desk, read it out loud, and said, "Who would do such a thing?" And refused to acknowledge that it was her for like the entire whole situation.
See, my question about this would it have been any better if she would have actually eaten the lunch?
Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%. If she had eaten
What are you
lunch,
talking about? Oh my god.
Like, there's the difference between, like, someone that's just, like, really fucking dumb or, like, has, like, zero empathy for people and, like, I don't know, like, a psychopath.
right? Exactly. I feel like that's what makes this
how do you
resonate
get
so
to that?
much.
How do you get to that line of logic there when somebody takes somebody else's food out of the refrigerator at work and throws it in the trash and all of a sudden they're a psychopath? Do you understand what a psychopath is?
Walked away. And then she, like, I guess just ran in, threw it out. She really hates shrimp fried rice, apparently.
Is this like a...
How are you not enraged, Sean?
I'm not enraged about this.
Oh, I'm so mad about this. Like,
Do you have a community refrigerator?
yeah.
Has anybody thrown your stuff out?
Well, they do like a monthly purge of the fridge, and they warn us about it. So,
Okay.
but nobody's ever just thrown my stuff away from the fridge, other than on purge day.
So you left it in there.
One time I left something in there, but I was like
Okay,
out of the
Tyler.
office during a meeting.
Tyler.
So,
Has anybody ever threw your lunch away?
No.
Fine. Okay, so what are we so upset about?
who does this?
Like,
It would be one thing if she came in, took the shrimp fried rice out of the fridge, and ate it.
You know what?
But they took it and then just put it in the trash and walked away.
I'm really tired of these first world lunch problems that are going on in this podcast right now. I'm really...
does that matter? What part of that? What?
Yeah, this tweet says, after seeing the HR email, she says out loud, whoa, someone stole a lunch? Who would do something like that? Like,
Oh, it was yours?
that's insane.
That's not... Oh my god. What if she didn't realize until that moment in time that that's what had happened?
How does she not realize she's the one who threw away the shrimp fried rice?
Have you ever been in charge of a refrigerator at work?
Not in charge of, no.
Okay, Tyler, have you ever been in charge of a refrigerator at work? Okay, I have had to do this. I had a couple of jobs. I have had to clean out refrigerators at work. It was signs on them that said at the end of the week, on whatever day, this gets thrown away. And inevitably, there will be one person who gets upset that you threw away the thing that was in there. But always what you have to remember is there was no reason why a Coke from Charlie's should have been left inside of the freezer.
I mean,
You weren't coming back for that. So don't be upset about it. Now, if the person said, well, I had my bootleg hooch in there, you might feel a little bad because you were like, man, that was probably expensive. But then you would think to yourself, why would you leave it in my work refrigerator and get it out? Don't bring that to work. And then you might say you're sorry, if it was someone's leftover, Panda Express or shrimp fried rice.
Or leftover panda.
Because some people eat endangered bears, I guess, whatever.
You learn
Also-
you're an exotic hunter. They just got back for their trip.
But still,
Problem though, isn't it?
rule number 1 about the refrigerator, eat it or beat it. That's it.
But it was it had to have been malicious. There's no way. There's just no way that like it gets dropped off, and within a 30-minute time frame, someone just chucks it. Like the middle of the workday.
When did it get dropped off?
It specifically says.
Well, yeah, let's...
I don't understand why I'm the one who's playing defense attorney here.
Okay, he bought the shrimp fried rice around 11:30 a.m. carry out and put it in the fridge to chill until he takes his lunch at noon. So she had exactly a 30-minute window of time to do what she did.
Why would you? First of all, why would you buy something at 11:30 to take a lunch half an hour later?
I don't know how this
completely
office
unproductive,
works.
and your manager needs to know about that. First of all, because I don't know what the hell you're doing.
I agree, but still.
God, I need to do that. I guess. I don't think I have my lunch break figured out because that is so stupid.
He could have had it scheduled, Sean.
What? So he could go out from 10:30 to 11:30 and get some shrimp fried rice. Then he had a meeting from 11:30 to 12, and he came back and his stupid shrimp fried rice was thrown away. But okay, so I will admit this. Bad on whoever threw it away because between 11:30 and 12 is the inappropriate time to throw stuff away.
Yes.
Friday afternoon at 4:45 is the appropriate time to go in the refrigerator and chuck stuff away. Or 5 o'clock after everybody has left, But you know what? 11:30 to 12 to let it chill. What are you talking about? Who does that? Who puts hot, beautifully made food in the refrigerator to quote unquote chill for half an hour, then go on lunch when apparently you went on lunch to go get the stupid food?
I don't know, man. I just can't believe this person threw away the shrimp fried rice.
I think it's really inappropriate.
Victim blaming. I'm victim blaming?
Yeah, you're blaming him because of his stupid plan to eat food. You're like, well, maybe he shouldn't have ordered stupid shrimp fried rice and should have just gotten it all in one go. It's his fault because he left it unattended for 30 minutes.
I think we need to reach out to this person and establish a timeline about what exactly happened, because we're just getting tweets here of one side.
I think it's pretty clearly laid out.
Because I feel like there's two things that are either going on here. Either one, it was an honest mistake, or two, this was a malicious act. Not by a psychopath, by somebody who wanted revenge, and revenge of the best kind. Starving revenge. Because your whole afternoon is ruined if you don't have lunch.
Sean, please. Clearly by the transaction that happens, when someone says out loud, who would do that? Then someone says, well, maybe they shouldn't throw lunches away. That's not very nice. And she's like, oh, it was your lunch? You're like,
no, because I wouldn't be bringing this up if it wasn't my lunch.
I think that implies that she honestly didn't know.
But she did.
Okay, so
what was his name on it?
It doesn't matter.
Do you know that? Oh, it does matter, sir.
No,
this is how due process is done.
I mean, how much like asshole do you think of shrimp fried rice smells within the 30-minute window? It was probably still hot.
Which begs the point: why put it in the refrigerator?
Listen, you keep going back to that victim blaming. You can't be like your actions are responsible.
All right. We're obviously chasing our tail on this one. I think what we need to figure out is, in a lunch situation where there is lunch in the fridge that is now not in the fridge, who is the final say? Is there like fridge court? Is there some kind of like final adjudicator of these disputes?
The court of popular opinion, probably.
So you want to have the whole office vote on the fate of this shrimp fried rice? Like
no one should vote, but no one votes. No one will vote, no. But your coworkers will decide whether or not they feel your actions were unjustified or not, and whether they believe you. And if they don't believe you, then they will ostracize you. And if they don't, then everything will go on as normal.
Tyler, I think this is it. I don't think...
The end? Brunch is over?
I don't think we could share a podcast with Sean anymore. I don't think we could do this. He's going to throw away our lunch.
Good news, we've never had brunch, Sean. Or had leftovers from a brunch.
Yeah, because ain't no leftovers in Sean's fridge. He's throwing that shit away.
Oh my god, you guys are psychopaths.
Alright, it's time to round the show out like we always do with the round of shameless plugs from the panel. We'll go ahead and start with Tyler Reed. Tyler, where can the people find you?
Hey everyone, you can find my design and illustration work at tylerdreed.com. And you can find me on the socials as TDR Design on Instagram and Twitter.
Sean Evans, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at sevans8910. And my new handle, ihearttdrdesign.com.
You guys are so cute. The bromance is strong with this one. You can find me on the socials as at TC Olmstead. You can like and follow the show at Dudes Brunch. And if you really like us, you can leave a review on iTunes or recommend us on Overcast. Other than that, we will be back next week with another episode of Dudes Brunch.
Bacon and stout. That's a good match. That's a good beer and food match right there.
But bacon and stout at 3 p.m. when it's 75 degrees and you're in the sun?
That's your fault.
How is that my fault? It was an outdoor festival.
Get in the shade, you idiot.
Whatever.